eating? I'm totally eating. I'm sorry. She started the video, and I'm still chewing.
I didn't know.
I have a giant wad of food in my mouth.
You guys, look at what she's wearing. She's wearing that shirt, and I know you guys have been asking questions about where it's from.
See,
Show
it
the
has
back.
the pledge.
Yeah, it's got there.
Can you see it?
Yep. It's really, really cool. And I know there were a lot of questions about where we got those. Those
love
are
the
from
shirt.
Outbreak Design in Jacksonville, Illinois.
Yeah.
So look up Outbreak Design because that's where that's from. Oh, and we got a thing from Eric.
My God.
Eric Jensen from X-Fed Signs made us this thing about our mayor. Well, not our mayor, but like the Indianapolis mayor. Whose name is Hogset.
Whiskey Tango Footless. Hog shit.
So that's pretty cool, right?
Oh my God, that sign is everything.
So we got that today.
That is so great.
You
Yeah, we
guys-
call him hog shit.
I've got some bad news about our hardcovers. I know I told everybody yesterday that I was shipping them out yesterday, and I was super excited about that because we really busted butt to get them signed, packaged, ready to go.
Really, it was like 80% her. Because, I mean, I was expecting to stay like every day late this week because she's so type A, you guys. Like, I'm type A, but she's like type triple.
A+.
She's type AAA battery.
Just like my blood type.
She's type A, control freak, freakazoid. She's
I don't like
like
to have things hanging over my head.
she's a freakazoid.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
just like
so
things to
I'm
be
just
done.
like, all right, whatever. And I just sit, okay.
You guys are not going to believe the experience I had at the post office.
Yeah.
So I have like a whole big stack of a huge stack of books. I take one package in with me because my plan is I want to weigh it. I want them to tell me how much postage it requires. And then I'm just the way I did last time 6 months ago, I'm going to go to the kiosk and I'm going to just print out however many stamps I need of that amount. And then we're going to stamp them and we're set them out easy.
We did this. It was no big deal
No
the
big
last
deal.
time. We got it handled,
Yep.
you know, and we figure, listen, the process is not going to change, right?
It should be
it
easy
wasn't
peasy.
that long ago that we did this.
No,
right?
I mean, it was just literally just a few months ago.
Yeah.
So I take it in, I go to the thing. Nobody's in there when I go in there, which was great at that moment. I take it up, she weighs it, she tells me it's 12.6 ounces and it's gonna cost $2.85 or whatever to send. So, or 80 cents to send. So I'm like, okay, great. Thanks. I'll just take that and I'm just gonna go to the kiosk and I'm gonna print out all the stamps I need. And she's like, well, you can't do that anymore. And I was like, why not?
Yeah.
She's like, they took
3
that
days
option off the kiosk.
Because like 3 days ago we could do this.
And I was like, what? So I can't, how am I supposed to, what do I do? And so, because I have like a huge stack in my car of things I was just going to stamp everything and then bring them in and drop them off. She was like, no, you can't do that anymore. And I can't do it either. I can't print off a label that says that amount at the post office. The woman at the post office is telling me that. And she said, you'll have to bring each one in and we'll have to scan them and do each one individually. And I was like, oh the hell
God.
we are. Because a line then starts to form behind me, right?
And I went through this once too. Remember I was telling you there was a line, and they had to do each one. And, oh my God, nightmare, you guys.
So then
everybody hates you.
So then she calls like a supervisor person over who confirms that the reason that you can't print out your own stuff on the kiosk anymore is because some people were like gaming the system where they would print out like a 1 cent stamp and use it to send a package. And then it wouldn't be until way too late that the post office would actually catch that error, which I'm thinking, that is on you guys, right? I mean, like that's on the post office to check before they ship something that it has the right postage on it. Get it back to the sender if it doesn't.
Yeah.
So I couldn't believe it.
And I said the same exact thing to her, Shannon. I was like, we want these people to handle our ballots.
I mean, right?
We want them to like, this is the thing. It's like so inefficient, and yet we want these, and they can't deal, and yet we want them to handle all of our voting.
So then she says, you can buy, we have a $2 stamp and a 70-cent stamp and a 10-cent stamp that you can buy, and then you'll just stick 3 separate stamps on all of the packages. And I'm like,
Oh my
okay, well, can I buy those then? And she said, no, we don't have enough of them here.
Oh my God.
And I'm like, okay.
You're the freaking post office.
So I'm like, can you tell me where I'm supposed to go to just get these shipped out? She was like, you should just go online and you can order them online. You guys, that's what I had to do. So I had to order all the stamps online, and the stamps are not going to come to me until like 7 to 10 days from now.
Yeah.
And so the minute they come, we'll get them out. But like,
everybody keeps saying stamps.com.
Well, but how does this help though, right? Because like, is that where I get stamps quicker?
I think maybe it'll come quicker. We could probably investigate that.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I already ordered all the stamps.
If stamps.com is like a private industry, right? If they're private, then why do we have the post office?
Yeah.
What's the point? Shut it down.
I mean,
it's like why? And then why are people thinking that this why does anybody think that this mail-in voting thing would ever be successful? And that it wouldn't be just riddled with fraud? Why?
I mean, I was like dumb. You don't even know how many times I asked her. I was like, I don't understand. I am at the only place I know of where I can send these through the mail. So if you can't help me, what am I supposed to do? Because there was a big confusion about whether each one would have to have its own address label from the post office to send it media mail or whatever. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
And they're like, well, we don't have that here. You're the post office.
I know. It was crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crazy. So I'm very, very sorry to all the people that ordered a hardcover and we're expecting them next week. It's going to be a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's not because we're lazy.
No.
It's not
It
that.
is not.
It's not for that. It's not for that reason.
I mean, because we worked really hard to get it out quick.
You guys.
Oh my God.
We definitely are remembering 9/11. It's 9/11, obviously. That's why I have my shirt on. Like my stand-up shirt, right? And I'm pleased because my daughter's school, I'm so pleased about this. I don't know how much longer it'll last. My daughter's 10. She's in 5th grade. And I'm very pleased. They have the day in school where they all remember 9/11. She goes to it's not a rural school, but it's a school that still gives a crap, right? So I'm excited that they still do that. They still talk about it. They still remember, because there are a lot of schools that just don't care anymore, you know?
I'll be curious to hear what my kid's school does today.
And they all are wearing red, white, and blue, and it's and so that I'm excited that they still care about it. And so she got up, she was excited to wear her red, white, and blue, and I was excited for her, and then we explain, you know, so that's good. It's good that they still remember, you know, and we've talked to her about it. She knows what 9/11 is, and, you know, and so I'm glad they still do that. Because it's a matter of time before schools don't care.
I just can't imagine that happening. I can't.
You really? Because I feel like there are probably schools out there that don't.
I just can't. My kid's been in public school forever, and every year they do something. Yeah, it's like part of, they talk about it every year. So I don't think that's unique. I mean, I think most schools do a pretty nice job. That's an American thing. That's like one of the things that unified us all more than anything else, right? So like, it's not political, it's not controversial.
I don't know.
It just is.
Somebody was even saying that like they were watching CNN and no one's mentioning it.
On CNN? They haven't even mentioned it? I find that very hard to believe. I just can't imagine that. I cannot imagine that. I wonder if Ari Fleischer is going to do his annual, you know how he does a tweet thread that like minute by minute tells what was going on?
Yeah.
It's always so powerful. If you don't follow Ari Fleischer, you should. Mm-hmm. Speaking of schools, we've got a pretty big story this morning to talk about on our radio show. You should definitely tune in because this may affect a school here in Indiana, but I can assure you that this is happening wherever you are. And so we're going to be busting that open at 9 o'clock today on our radio show. You can stream it at wibc.com if you're not here in Indianapolis.
Yeah. So
that's going to be a big story. Also, we were just talking about, did you guys see Brett Baer interviewing the press secretary for Joe Biden yesterday?
He was, that kid is kind of a weenie.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was hilarious because Brett asked him outright, did Joe Biden use a teleprompter for a Q&A session? Mm-hmm. Is that, because the Trump campaign is saying it, is that true or false? Can you confirm that? This guy danced around without answering that question.
He danced around every question. If you watch the whole interview, he doesn't answer any of the questions. I watched it live last night, and he is a pro. He's a political pro. He's one of those guys that doesn't answer any question.
But it looked terrible.
Yeah, well, if you are in the Washington bubble, you think he probably did really well because this is what they. Well, you and I don't, and everybody.
I can't see how anybody on the left thinks that was effective.
Normal people don't think, but this guy, he would go every time he'd answer a question, he'd be like, Brett, come on now. I mean, it's like, and then
that's just a distraction.
Yeah, and Brett would be like, but it's a yes or no question. Like, answer the question. Like, why can't you answer the question? Did he use a teleprompter? And he doesn't answer the question.
Ever.
Which to me, the answer is, yeah, he used a teleprompter because you can't answer the question, which says to all of us who have firing synapse in our brain, you don't want to answer the question because it makes your candidate look bad. So the answer is yes, he used a teleprompter.
But I still can't imagine anyone on the left watching that and thinking, yeah, that really showed Brett Baer.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked horrible.
Yeah.
Because if he didn't use a teleprompter, they would have just said, what a ridiculous accusation. Of course he doesn't use a teleprompter. But they know he does. And so in order to just avoid it, he's all Mr. Dancy Pants.
Yeah. It's like that guy, remember that character on Saturday Night Live, the sweaty lawyer with the cigarette?
Martin Short.
Yeah, and he can't, and he's like, what? And he can never answer questions, but he'd be really defensive about things. You remember? It was like the younger version of that.
Yeah.
It was like the millennial version of that. He was just completely inept at answering questions. And he just was, but he was really good at dancing. And it's just so obvious what he's doing. If you're a human being with ears, you know exactly what he's doing.
To me, he looked like a castrated, less smart version of Michael Knowles.
Yeah.
Like a guy that, if you know who Michael Knowles is, he does the Daily Wire podcast.
Uh-huh.
But he looks so much like Michael Knowles, only like the soy boy castrated version.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
I just saw a story, you guys, about Lululemon. You know the yoga pants?
Yeah,
You guys, they are hosting a workshop called Decolonizing Gender, which is about resisting capitalism. Lululemon. Lululemon.
Why are they doing that?
A $4.5 billion company wants to resist capitalism now. What in the world?
And not only that, but their yoga pants are like $90.
No, they're like $120 now.
Oh, I'm sorry, $120.
And they're like, we hate capitalism.
I've never bought a pair of them, but like all these, rich, women, in upper middle class neighborhoods who are like, they make my butt look so good.
Oh my God. If you want to resist capitalism, stop selling yoga pants
for $120.
I mean, they're like a poster company for capitalism.
Yeah,
they are how it works. They had just profits of like literally over $4 billion, and so this is insane.
But I think what blows me away is that companies at all are even talking about any of this Marxism stuff. The companies are even talking about BLM. That companies are doing this.
It's such a losing proposition.
I find it so interesting that they're incorporating this into their culture at all. Like, why would companies do this?
Because they feel this pressure, right, from the squeaky wheels. They feel all of this pressure now because of all of the stuff that's been happening for the past few months. They have to respond.
We work at a company, and I don't who would be pressuring our company.
Well, we've even seen it here. We've seen the emails about all these workshops and all of the initiatives. It's happening everywhere.
You and I haven't been forced to go to a workshop.
No,
but it's been we've had conversations.
Well, and there's initiatives about how they're going to be looking for acquisitions and new hires, and all of it is it's on top of mind, right, for senior executives right now, because if they don't talk about it or feel or at least promote an idea of an action plan about it, then they get excoriated by people, right? People will come after them and be like, I can't believe you guys aren't doing anything about diversity. There's a lot of pressure for companies. It's just that they shouldn't bow to it. They should release statements saying, of course Black lives are important. Of course.
Celia said, yay, free pants!
They should say Black lives are important. We will not talk about the Black Lives Matter movement because that has now become political. The end.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's really, it makes no sense. It just makes you wonder who these CEOs are. Are they complete dumbasses? It's like are a company that made money through capitalism. You're rich because of capitalism. Have you ever read a book? I don't understand how these people can be so dumb.
I know.
And yet be so wealthy at the same time because of capitalism.
I mean, and now American Airlines, because I know we got an email from somebody who was super mad about American Airlines allowing their employees to wear the BLM pins.
Yeah.
And so they wrote to American Airlines and they were like, I'm never flying you again, and this is crazy capitulation, and why are you doing this, blah. So American Airlines is at least trying to say, well, this is not at all related to the BLM movement or politics. This is simply about a statement that says Black Lives Matter, and the pin was designed not by any official organization, but by our own people. And so we're just supporting the idea of, their lives mattering. But see, immediately people are mad because it is automatically tied to the movement. You can't separate the two now.
You can't. There is no separation between the two now. There
so
isn't.
You can wear a pin that says Black lives are important, and then you're fine.
And I don't think there really was a separation ever between the two, because the people who started it were Marxists.
Yeah.
They are Marxists. So whether you, in your mind, you think you can separate it, you can't. You can't, because the people who started it are Marxists. So it's nice that in your mind you think, I'm going to say that and I can separate it, but you can't.
It's too late.
You can't make it so.
The toothpaste is out.
Yeah,
it's out.
So good luck with that. But and that's sweet that you want to do it. But you are associating yourself with a socialist, a Marxist a group. And
we're not calling it that.
No,
they are calling it that.
They did it. They are the people who created it are Marxists. They are self-proclaimed Marxists. So, okay, if you want to align yourself with that, but I won't align myself with that. I won't do it because they're commies.
Yeah. It is Q&A day. And by the way, I've seen a lot of comments going quickly by saying that people have really enjoyed our Rick Grinnell podcast from this week. I'm so glad that you guys have listened to it. Isn't he fantastic? So great.
Thank you.
No, not you.
Hey, Rob.
I mean, you're great too.
Hey, Rob.
But you're not Rick Grinnell.
Yeah.
Anyway, so what kinds of things is on your mind?
Do we have
What's
any
going
questions?
On? So yes, white lives matter, Hispanic lives matter.
Every life matters. Mm-hmm. It's now shameful to be white in this country.
You work for American Airlines. Wow. Are you wearing a pin?
God bless you.
The white.
What? Folks don't matter.
Oh, folks.
Vermont is losing time. I can't. It's too long.
Too long. It's got to be quick.
This needs to be a t-shirt, mug of hemp.
Yeah, there should be a pin that says Black Lives Matter, but BLM is Marxist.
Yeah,
I'll wear that pin.
You have to check out satire up Sears.
JP Sears does this. Yeah, he does a satire on "Don't California My Texas."
Oh, I need to totally look at that.
Yeah. Rick podcast, great. So glad you guys listened to it.
Have you seen Adam Schiff with the masked psycho
No.
eyes? Oh my god, his eyes
are crazy.
I think he has hyperthyroidism. He needs to check that out.
Have you seen all the fires on the West Coast? Yeah, we've talked about that. Have you noticed that? Oh, I missed it. A hint at the school news. It's tied into exactly what we've been talking about in this very live video. So that is your hint. Somebody was at the Trump rally in Michigan last night. That's it. Because we got an email from somebody who was there too that said it was awesome.
Are you our stalker?
What?
I think Carolyn may have called you our stalker.
No way. I think she was talking about Adam Schiff.
Oh, there's a story on Fox Business about how a postcard that was delivered 100 years late.
Oh my gosh. But listen, the post office has this, you guys. They got it.
I'm sure they'll cut those ballots on time.
We're talking about the Netflix Cuties movie today. You guys, it's worse than we ever dreamed it would be.
What is wrong with people that want that to be aired? What about the parents?
Well, there's a great write-up about it on Breitbart, and some guy watched it, and because he defended it at first, because he was like, okay, and he the reason he defended it is he's like, free speech, all this kind of stuff, but then he watched it, and he was like, oh my god, I mean, this is
really, it's that
more
bad.
Disgusting than I ever thought it would be. It's awful.
I see a lot of people on Twitter when I'm canceling Netflix forever.
And you know what? The Obamas need to speak out about this, because they have like all these contracts, and she's always, seriously, somebody needs to ask them about it, because they're affiliated with Netflix. So what do they have to say about this? All these people who are like, hey, Meghan and Harry, they have a brand new deal with Netflix. What are they? They're doing family friendly stuff with Netflix. What do they have to say about this movie?
Big Trump Parade in Ocala. Is that how you say
Ocala.
it? Ocala, Florida this Saturday. Motorcycles, horses. Oh, by the way, there was a guy on Twitter who invited us to a big biker rally.
Really?
On the Circle. I forget the date, but it's coming up in October.
Oh my God, I want to do it.
But it's like at 7 o'clock, and I was like, I don't know, man. I'm scared to be on the Circle for
at
any
night?
reason.
Oh,
at 7 o'clock.
The bikers will protect us.
But that's what he said. He wrote back and he was like, "There's going to be 10,000
I'm
people
fine.
there
If
that totally have your
they
back."
have our back. There's people are going to be like, "Are you kidding me?" They'll all be armed too.
I mean, it sounds kind of fun.
I feel fine if there are bikers there. I feel totally fine.
It sounds pretty fun.
Yeah,
So I'm thinking
that would
about
be
it.
super fun.
I know. All right, what else you got? South Louisiana is hurting from Hurricane Laura, media blackout. I don't know. It's like natural disasters have just stopped mattering to the media.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because they're so political now.
Yeah, everybody's
And weather isn't
because
political.
they figure out what they want to focus on, and they're like, "What's the narrative going to be today?"
Yeah. The
It's
only
not-
time they want to talk about weather is if they can link it to their idea of climate change, and then they're like, "Oh my God,
Yeah.
this is a disaster."
Well, people are. Bernie Sanders is saying the fires are because of global warming.
Get your face.
The fires. Where's my face? The fires are because of the warming and climate. We need the Green New Deal. I'm asking once again for your financial support, suckers. That's totally what he's saying.
I miss him.
I
There are
know.
things about him I miss,
Right.
you guys.
We miss his stupid face. God. Yeah,
Oh,
right.
my
Bikers
God.
all the way. I feel safe with bikers.
Somebody plowed Black Lives Matter in the dry lake. I totally missed
Tom
that.
Hanks, George Clooney. There's a cutie story. Yeah, right. Nobody's talking about this cutie thing except for the people on the right who are like, this is freaking disgusting. Like, it's gross. It's child porn. I mean, it's disgusting.
Teachers in COVID, but they aren't teaching yet. How are they getting it? Oh, are teachers that aren't in actual schools getting COVID?
Well,
I
they'll
hadn't heard
go.
that.
They'll go visit. Like I say, they'll go to their school, like set up their classroom, and then there are a lot of teacher cases that I read about yesterday that they weren't with students.
Oh, so they're just getting it
They're
from each
getting
other.
it from like just being out and about, and then they're like, teachers are dying of COVID, but they're not in the schools, so it's okay.
But I thought masks worked.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what else is going on?
No, I can't imagine listening to Bernie for 4 years. No.
That'd be a little much.
Mm-hmm.
That could be. I mean, I love it when she. I love it when she does it.
shorts. Shut up. She does have a horse shorts
They're
on.
really not that
They're
long.
very
I mean,
hor-
the short.
You look like a whore in your shorts. You
They're
look
not
like a
that
whore.
short, you guys.
She looks like a whore.
They're not short.
Yeah.
They're really not. My very left goddaughter is boycotting
Wow.
Netflix.
Yeah.
All right, so
wow.
maybe there is some reasonableness on the
Yeah.
other side of the aisle.
The thing is, they'll praise Cardi B, and then they'll be like, she's empowering, get that coin, you know. And then these are 11-year-old girls, 11. And if you watch, I mean, I saw one of the scenes. I was so grossed out,
What is wrong?
I mean, these girls
with
are grinding
everything?
on the stage. They're like humping a stage.
Oh my God.
Seriously, you guys watch one of the scenes and then tell me that you don't want to just completely. I am not a boycotter, but it just makes me. I am enraged by this movie, enraged by it as a mom of a young girl.
Nicole wants us to go on tour.
Really? We would do like single, double.
We could do some choreography.
I mean, there are people who probably do less on tour than we would do. You know, we would do some stuff. We'd have some fun. We'd throw like t-shirts. We'd like do like one of those Nerf guns.
Oh, yeah, I
throw
love Nerf
t-shirts
guns.
out into the audience and stuff.
I
We'd
would
have
totally
some
do
fun.
that.
We would do some fun crap if we went on tour. We'd have a bus. You know?
But then, you know what? Just to feel like normal, we would just put my phone up into a little stand and just talk into it.
Yeah.
In front of you. We would just do this like on a stage.
Yeah,
And then
that's
we would
right.
feel like, okay, this
It's like
we know how to do this.
We feel normal.
Masks don't really work. If you can smell things, then it will not stop the China virus. I know. I mean,
know.
it's all such nonsense.
You know what I smell? The filth from the bottom of the, like, from the floors of my car, because that's where I get my mask every day. That's what I smell. I smell all, like, the old French fries and crap that my daughter has spilled on the floor of my car. That's what I smell.
You got to shake it, and then you got to
shake
blow
it off,
and then you can put it on.
and then you put the mask on.
Just to avoid the
Yeah,
kids.
it's really clean. The CDC recommends it. It's just gross. Masks are gross.
Yeah, people are saying they're not going to watch a single scene of that.
Listen, I'm just saying, it's all gross. If you don't trust me, you can watch it's on Twitter. There's a couple snippets here and there. It is the most disgusting thing.
Someone said we should go on tour with Dennis Miller. He used to tour with Bill O'Reilly. He's way too
Oh my
smart, you
God.
guys.
I'd love to go on tour with him.
I feel like
we could balance it out. You gotta have a balance. I feel like you need a balance in life.
I mean, and he's so chill.
Oh my God.
Which is obviously the opposite
See,
of me.
again, we would provide that balance. It's kind of like the Go-Go's opening for the Police back in the 80s. I know, so I'm pulling that reference right out. See, this is where we would work with Dennis Miller. The reference pool,
This is way bigger than ours.
I feel like his is way bigger, but we've got a little pool. We got a little pool.
We've got a kiddie pool.
But yeah,
of
the
references.
Go-Go's did open for the Police back in the 80s, and the Go-Go's, remember, their album just shot up to #1. Not that that would happen to us. I mean, it'd be really fun if it did. But their album shot up to #1 when they opened for the Police. And it's because they were this spunky girl group, right? And people were like, oh my God, these girls are so good. Everybody loved the Police, but they were a different kind of band. You know what I'm saying? Dennis Miller's a different kind of band.
Different kind of band.
We're a different kind of band. You know?
I mean, we did.
Yeah.
We have a great time with him.
Yeah.
It's just...
We're a different kind of band.
It's a different kind of band.
You know what I'm saying?
Is Shapiro's Deli still south of downtown?
Yeah, I just passed it this morning. There was a guy in there with his mask on, shaving some meat. I just saw him. I pass it every day on my way. He was the only one in there, you guys. Just a sweet little old man shaving the meat, you know?
That sounds so
I
inappropriate.
feel like that could be inappropriate. I feel like that could be
You can't say that kind of stuff around me.
I'm going to say it again. I'm going to say it one more time. There was a little old man in there
Don't say
shaving
it.
the meat.
Oh, no.
Are you okay? Happy Friday, everybody.
What time is it? Okay, we've got a couple more minutes. Just a couple more minutes.
Oh, my God.
Talk about the Dems shooting down yet another stimulus. Well, you guys, it's the old analogy that I like to use. The Democrats wanted 2 scoops of ice cream, okay?
Yeah.
Don't
we all?
Republicans said, here's 1 scoop,
Yeah.
and the Democrats were like, no, I'm just not going to have ice cream at all.
Yeah, this happens.
That's
happens
what happened
a lot.
with the stimulus.
It's like the guy the other day that loves us, but he doesn't want 30 minutes of us. He just wants 15 minutes.
It's because of all the jocularity, you guys.
So he unsubscribed. Go become a Democrat, dude. For real. I don't understand you.
It's because of the jocularity.
It's the jocularity. Hashtag jocularity and shaving the meat. Hashtag shaving the meat.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
All right, we got time for a couple more.
We're off the rails. It's Friday.
Thank
What are you
God.
guys doing this weekend?
I'm gonna sleep so
What are you
much.
doing? I know I did not sleep well this week either. I'm gonna have to catch up on
I have
sleep.
so much sleep.
Thank you for my earrings.
MILFs in the morning.
Oh.
Sorry, couldn't help it. That's a good one, Brad. That's
Brad,
very
it's
unusual and clever and never before heard.
You know what MILF stands for?
I mean, seriously, that's what you're gonna say.
Why don't you go shave the meat?
Sounds like Brad needs to shave some meat.
Brad needs to do that. With this
I'm so glad that
jocularity.
you're enjoying my laugh. Either people
Yeah.
hate it or they like it. There's no in between.
Yeah. Yeah.
Biden had a boat parade in his bathtub, 3 sailboats, and a rubber duck. Listen, that's fine.
Yeah, somebody
For him.
wants your laugh as their ringtone. God.
That's going to get on your nerves after a while.
No, I don't. For some people, they probably really like that.
Well, and maybe they just don't get a lot of calls.
That's.
There's always that possibility.
You know what? I would love to speak at a Trump rally, but he never invites us.
Yeah, he doesn't
You
invite
guys
us,
tell
you
him.
guys.
Tweet him. Tell him. I don't even think he knows we exist.
I'm pretty sure he does.
He retweeted us one time, though.
Twice, I think.
Twice. 2 times.
Yeah, and that was
But
exciting.
I don't think he really knows that we exist.
No, he
So
doesn't.
if you could remind him, that'd be great. Because I think that we would charge up the crowd if we could get to a
I feel
Trump
like we
rally.
could fire some people up.
I feel like we could do that.
There'd be some jocularity up on that
There'd be
stage.
some shaving of the meat.
There would not.
Okay, there'd be some jocularity.
Okay, we gotta go for
We
real.
really do have to go.
Don't forget to tune into our big story at 9 o'clock, WIBC.com. Don't forget.
Yeah, it's a big story. It is a big story. It really is. In all seriousness,
Busting it wide open.
And you guys, it's kind of a somber day, but you know,
as you can tell from this video.
well.
Right?
Well,
I mean, but it is a sacred day.
It is
that
a
we
sacred
remember.
day. It is a sacred day. So I'm sure everybody is going to be, you know, saying prayers and, you know, remembering what happened 19 years ago. Can you believe it was 19 years ago, you guys?
19.
I know. When I heard that this morning, I was like, oh my God, I cannot believe it was 19 years ago, you guys.
I mean, next year's 20 years.
I know.
That just seems absolutely nuts.
It blows me away. It absolutely blows me away. So, anywho, bring it in. Bring it in, you guys. We hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.